Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2021-22 season. My name is Dan and welcome to the Game Week 33 team selection video here on my channel. We're going to be talking about my team from last week, how I got on, where we are in the rankings, and then we're going to move on to some plans for Game Week 33, what transfers I'm going to make. I've got 2 free transfers in the bank and may even make a third. We've got my captain to decide on still, and finally, maybe there'll be a little bit of a chip usage in this video as well, but you guys have probably already seen the title, so I'm not going to hype that one up too much. But guys, this is going to be a really good one, a really interesting one, definitely. I'm really looking forward to this video, so if you do enjoy it, please do leave a like, please do subscribe if you are new around here. Without further ado, guys, let's have a look at my Game Week 32 scores and see where we are at. Well, another green arrow, which is just amazing to say, up from 159th up to 125th in the world now. So we are just on the edge of the top 100. I think I'm something like 5 or 6 points outside the top 100 now. So we are getting so close. It's only going to take a nice chip usage to get me in there. We are going to talk about that in just a couple of minutes. But yeah, a score of 75. That was mostly down to the fact that I got absolutely carried by Son captain. Obviously, with Son's hat-trick, he got loads and loads of points and just given me an absolutely wonderful score, 42 points there just from Son alone, and I know that's going to be more than a lot of people's whole team did. So the Son captaincy really did pay off, so really happy about that. Other than that, not really too much going on. We got Kulusevski with 12 points, which was pretty nice. We got little returns from Trent, Salah and Cancelo, but aside from that, a lot of disappointment everywhere. Ramsdale only getting 1 point against Brighton was a bit of a surprise. Robertson on 0 points because he conceded 2 goals and got a yellow card. Doherty unfortunately got injured early on in the Spurs game, so he could only get 1 point, which is extra annoying because, you know, that could have been a nice 6-pointer because Spurs went on to keep a clean sheet, and you just know that he would have been involved in some goals as well. But that is a shame. That is one of those things. Saka 1 point with the yellow card. Cornet missed an absolute sitter, which was so disappointing. I am still thinking about it right now, even though it happened last weekend. If Cornet scored that goal, he was going to be on for, like, I don't know, like a 9-pointer or maybe even more. So yeah, that would have been incredible. It wasn't to happen that game week, but a 2-pointer for him, and then 2 points for Lacazette as well. So overall, lots of disappointment. I don't think that's necessarily because these players are bad players. Definitely not with players like Robertson and Saka, right? But, you know, it's just one of those things. It's one of those game weeks where not everything goes your way, but enough went my way, particularly with the captaincy, that I did manage to get a nice green arrow for this game week. A little bit disappointing with Schmeichel on the bench. Obviously, I brought him in last game week, but I wasn't really too keen on playing him. He saved a penalty, so that did get him 9 points, but you can't really predict these things, so I'm not going to beat myself up about the decision, but it is a little bit annoying to see those 9 points from Schmeichel. I sat on the bench there because knowing that if I had played him, I would be in the top 100 right now, but that's fine. It's one of those things. We are going to move on, absolutely, and we're going to see how we are going to push our way into the top 100, because this game week, we're doing it. We're going back into the top 100 in game week 33. Let me show you how we're going to do this. So as I said, I've got 2 free transfers. We got 0.5 in the bank. We are going to be using at least 1 transfer and maybe even more, but we'll talk about that in a moment. First of all, let's just get the lay of the land and put my team on screen so you can see what I'm dealing with and where we can kind of go from there to make the most of Game Week 33, I suppose. So in goal, we are going to go for Schmeichel this week. Kasper Schmeichel, he's got away games against Newcastle and Everton, although a lot of Leicester players are going to be super rotation risky this week. I think Schmeichel is the only player really that you can kind of guarantee 2 starts are from over the double game week, so that's going to be pretty nice. Newcastle and Everton, not exactly 2 teams known for scoring a lot of goals, so you can imagine a clean sheet there. And to be honest, I do think Leicester have been defending a little bit better recently, specifically after they've kind of got a lot more players back from injury and stuff, because they had a lot of defensive injuries throughout this season that people don't really talk about too much, but now they've got a lot of players coming back, then maybe they are going to try and, well, continue improving on their defensive acumen a little bit. But I am expecting rotation in that Leicester team, so that is something to note. Schmeichel, I don't think he's going to be one of those rotated players. So if you can make a few saves, you know, maybe keep a clean sheet in one of the games, maybe even save a penalty. That would be pretty nice if he was to do that again. Then that would just be absolutely amazing, right? So Schmeichel, backing him for this game week. I like the look of this pair of fixtures. I like the look of Leicester's improving defence. I think we've got to continue to move with the times. I know a lot of people kind of get stuck in their previous preconceptions about teams. Something that I think has helped get me ahead a little bit is that I'm kind of looking at more recent data rather than just focusing on my preconceptions about teams. And Leicester, I do believe, are an improving defence, and I think Schmeichel can get some points in this double game week, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can produce as well. So into defence, we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold. He is going absolutely nowhere. I know he's on a single game week. We are going to have quite a lot of single game week players in this team. Honestly, I think the single game week players are going to score very well this game week, so I do want just you guys to know, don't go too hard on double game week players, particularly if you're on a free hit or something. Just be aware of the fact that there are some really nice single game week fixtures here. We look at this Liverpool versus Manchester United game, and honestly, do you really think that Manchester United are going to do anything in this game? Do you think they're going to score in this game? Do you think they're going to get out any points out of this game? Probably not. You're probably going to expect that Liverpool, with the attacking quality that they have in their team, and they have just an insane attacking quality, they're going to do really well. So clean sheet, very much a possibility. The attack right now is just on fire. It's a big game, and we are going to have players like Trent who may as well be attackers. There are defenders in FPL, but really these are players who are just as much involved in the goals as players like Salah and Mane and Jota. The defenders are, the fullbacks in particular, are just as involved. So Trent, I think he's going to do really well against Manchester United. I'm very, very happy to have him in there, as I am very happy to have Robertson in there as well. So we've got this double up in the defence for Liverpool, which is really, really nice. I know, again, if you have your preconceptions about Manchester United, you'll probably think, oh, maybe this is going to be a kind of a tough game for Liverpool players. Maybe typically, you asked me a couple of years ago, would I want Liverpool defenders in against Manchester United? I would have probably said no, but right now this actually looks pretty good. Manchester United, there just seems to be some kind of toxicity in the club right now, and they're just not doing so well. It's just not working out at all. Particularly when they're not winning against teams like Everton, for example, and you feel like Liverpool are just so good right now that they're going to do something. And like I say, Trent, Robertson, they are attackers. They are part of the attack. They are attacking and contributing to the attack just as much, and they get clean sheet points. This is why they are scoring so well this season. They're both in really good form at the moment, so I'm thinking assists, goals, it could all happen in this game for these single game week defenders, and I'm really looking forward to seeing some hopefully 10-point pluses from both of them. It could happen. You can see it happening, and yeah, that would just be amazing, because I do think the Liverpool double up in defence is not super differential, but it's not something that everyone has, and I'm quite looking forward to that. Particularly the free hitters are definitely not going to have double Liverpool defence in there, I don't think, and I hope this can really, really pay it off. We've got Cancelo next in defence against Brighton, so this is going to be a really, really good one for Manchester City. For a fact that Man City have an extraordinary chance of a clean sheet here. An extraordinary chance, such a good chance of a clean sheet. So we're looking forward to seeing if they can indeed keep that clean sheet. It will probably happen. We also know that Cancelo is, in all likeliness, gonna play in this game, because he is unfortunately banned from the next Champions League game, which means that he's gonna kind of be, if he's going to get any game time whatsoever, it's going to be in the Premier League, right? And he's been so nailed on in the Premier League anyway. Manchester City do have to go all in at the moment, just because they have got Liverpool so close up behind them that they do need to make sure they are winning games right now. So Cancelo, I've got no doubt about the fact that he's going to play. I know a lot of people kind of speculate that he's going to be rotated and stuff like that. People say Cancelo might be rotated every single game week. It never happens. At what point do we just say Cancelo is one of Man City's best players, most key players, most crucial players, and he has to play, because that's the situation we're dealing with. Not expecting Manchester City to score loads of goals. They're not scoring an insane amount of goals at the moment, to be fair. They're a little bit more pragmatic and controlling games a little bit more, but Cancelo is such a huge and pivotal part of that he's going to naturally pick up bonus points. So, odd assist, he shoots an insane amount. If one of those creeps in, and if he's doing his usual business and picking up bonus points as well, then that's going to be absolutely amazing. 10-pointer plus for Cancelo, I'm thinking it is more than possible. And finally in defence, we have got Doherty, who is unfortunately injured. I'm going to leave him in this lineup right now, because we are going to be replacing Doherty. He's going to be a player that is first on the priority list to replace. If you guys have him in your team, we know he's not going to play a single game for the rest of the season, which is absolutely tragic. He was playing so well. He's such a crucial part of the way Spurs are playing at the moment as well. So that's going to be a real miss, not just for Spurs, but in FPL and in football, to be fair. So a shame, but it's one of those things. It happens in football. We are going to have to replace him in terms of FPL, so that's exactly what we're going to do today, and that's exactly what you guys should be doing as well. And of course, if you like the look of my replacements, then maybe you can join me on that one as well. Let's move on into midfield. We have got Salah to complete the Liverpool trio. You've got to have a Liverpool trio in your team, don't you? But yeah, like I say, this Manchester United game, I think Liverpool are going to do very, very well in. You know, Manchester United, I just feel like they are not good enough to compete with Liverpool right now, but I think they have perhaps maybe the arrogance to think that they could compete, and in that case, Liverpool are just going to take the game to them and absolutely ruin them. I really can see that happening. I can really see like a 3-0 in this game, and I do apologise, Manchester United fans. You know, I know a lot of you out there are Manchester United fans. It's no disservice to your club. I think, you know, you will turn it around eventually, but right now it's just not your season, and yeah, hopefully you're going to be able to improve that in future years. But right at this exact moment, like I just don't see this being a competition whatsoever. And we saw what happened last time Salah played against Manchester United. I don't know if you guys remember this, but he just went on an absolutely mad one. I can't remember how many points it was now, but it was something like 20. It was 20 plus points, wasn't it? It was like 24 points that Salah scored against Manchester United, scoring goal after goal and getting an assist as well. He absolutely smashed it. So I'm not saying that's going to happen again. I know people have this idea that Salah is out of form, but his underlying stats still look phenomenal. He is going to be getting chances. I know that Manchester City game he didn't score, but he did get an assist, and I thought he looked actually quite bright as well. So I think we are going to get Salah back to his best, and if it's going to happen, this is a good game week for that to start happening. So that's what I'm thinking. Salah back to his best against Manchester United and absolutely dominating it. I think it's going to happen. We've got Heung-min Son, the real man, in form now. What can we say about him? It's crazy. A few weeks ago, people were kind of saying that, oh, he's out of form. You know, he's finished. Look, a player of this quality, every single season he does it. He's a phenomenal player. He is arguably the best finisher in the entirety of the Premier League. That's why he scores with pretty much every shot he takes. He's always performing way above his XG. So he only needs a couple of XG and he's going to score goals and goals and goals. And that's exactly what we're kind of seeing in recent game weeks. He seems to be the main attacker at the moment, with Kane kind of dropping in a little bit deeper at the moment, which means it's really freeing up Son, particularly on those counter-attacks, to really go at the opposition and be the main man, taking those really the high value chances, I guess, for Spurs. So yeah, Son doing absolutely phenomenally at the moment. It's a good game against Brighton at home. I know Brighton did very well against Arsenal last game week, but you know, I don't know if Brighton have suddenly turned a corner or anything like that. It's a little bit early to say that, you would say, about Brighton, wouldn't you? So yeah, Brighton nothing to play for, Spurs with everything to play for. Spurs, you know, really probably looking like favourites to finish in the top 4 at this moment. Let's see what they can do. Son is going to be a very popular player this week, that's for sure. We've got Saka. So finally, another double game week player. We have got a few double game week players in here somewhere, guys. Don't worry about that. So yeah, we have got a double game week player here, finally, after Schmeichel being the last one. We've got Arsenal against Southampton and Chelsea. Now, Southampton did concede a lot of goals last game week, but I don't know if that's going to be a reflection going forward. I don't really know what we're going to expect from Southampton going forward, to be honest. Are they a team on the beach? Are they, you know, a terrible team all of a sudden? I don't know. Have they got anything to play for? Well, we know they haven't, but are they going to try and bounce back for a bit of confidence after last game? I don't know, but we know that Southampton have the capacity to concede a lot of goals, and if we're going to go for an Arsenal attacker, it's got to be Saka. We've already got him. He's looking pretty good. That game against Chelsea, you never know it. That's going to be a real crucial game, to be honest, that Arsenal game against Chelsea, in terms of deciding if Arsenal finish in the top 4 or not, so they've got to win that one. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, I'm really hoping that Arsenal do well there. Am I confident about it as an away game? Yeah, maybe I'm not super confident about it, but I think Arsenal can score in that game. I really do think Arsenal can score in that game, and if they are going to score in that game, you've got to put it down to players like Saka or maybe Martinelli or someone like that. But yeah, Saka primarily, he is the main man in terms of Arsenal scoring goals at the moment. Let's see what he can do. Kulusevski next. He's been on absolute fire as well. I mean, what player he's turning out to be. It's really insane. When he first signed for Spurs, I wasn't really 100% sure how many minutes he was going to get, but I said from the off, if this guy nails his spot down at 6 million, he's going to be an insane bargain for Spurs, because he's been known as a player of a real potential. Like, I'll be honest with you, I first discovered him on FIFA career mode maybe a couple of years ago, and yeah, it was a real beast there. So I kind of looked into him, and then he comes to Spurs, and then you know, he's looking really good. He's a real player for the future. I think everyone will agree with that. And he's got a good game against Brighton. So maybe him linking up with Son and Kane is going to produce more results for Kulusevski. We know that he's creating a lot of chances. We know he's shooting a decent amount at the moment as well. There seems to be a lot of points coming from Kulusevski at the moment, which is really, really good to see. I wasn't really sure how good he was going to turn out to be, but yeah, this is a real player in here, that's for sure. I think he's going to be a bit of a Spurs legend in a couple of years' time, that's for sure. And then finally, we're going to finish off with the man himself, Maxwell Cornet, an absolute legend of the game, who missed that chance last game week to break my heart, but he's going to be back with a vengeance this game week. He really is. So people, when they look at Burnley, and to be fair, guys, I should mention here, Burnley have just sacked their manager, Dyche. So with Dyche gone, there's going to be an interim manager. Some of the coaching staff is going to take over for this West Ham game. It could be a new manager bounce. I don't know. I don't know what's going to go on there, to be honest. I'm not going to speculate on it. Maybe Burnley fans have a better idea of what happens next here. But what I will say is that people typically think of these Burnley players as not very good. And to be fair, Burnley haven't been playing very well. But with Maxwell Cornet, he has been head and shoulders above every one of his teammates. And I've been kind of looking up and watching him intently and looking up the stats. And it turns out that, you know, per game played, per start, Cornet leads his entire team on expected goals, expected assists, shots in the box, big chances, key passes, big chances created. Every single metric puts Cornet above every one of his teammates. So he really is the star of his team in every single aspect. So when we think of Burnley bad, we kind of maybe want to kind of exclude Cornet out of that, because he is actually performing pretty well on an individual basis. And in FPL, we're not picking entire teams, we're picking individual players. And so I do have a lot of faith in Cornet still. Also, this West Ham and Southampton game, if you kind of look at the double game week fixtures, I think this pair of fixtures is actually being overlooked a little bit, because West Ham and Southampton are both teams that have conceded quite a lot of chances recently. They're actually, you know, quite fairly weak defences. And I would say, out of all of the pairs of fixtures that the double game week players have, I think actually for an attacker, Burnley's pair of fixtures is probably the best pair. If I'm completely honest, I think that's the best pair. And fair enough, Burnley don't have the best attackers to match into the best pair of fixtures, but still, you know, you've got to take a bit of this and a bit of that, bit of the quality of the player, bit of the fixture, and add them together and kind of see what you end up with. But if anyone is going to do something from this Burnley team over this double game week, it is going to be Maxwell Cornet. And if there is a new manager bounce here, Cornet is going to be absolutely reveling in it, and he is going to do so well. So, I mean, there's my my weekly Cornet propaganda. That's done now. I'll try not to speak about him too much for the rest of the video. There we go. Right, finally up front, we have got Lacazette. A double game week, obviously, for Arsenal. But what I will say is that I learnt today, well, actually learnt only a half an hour ago, because I wanted to wait for the press conferences before recording this video, that Lacazette has been out of training for a couple of days. We knew he was out of training for a couple of days. We didn't really know why. It turns out Arteta is not giving anything away. He said that Lacazette is not injured, but he's out of training for personal reasons that he cannot disclose. What does this mean? Is this a falling out between him and the club? Is this some kind of disciplinary thing? I don't know exactly what's going on, and Arteta never gives anything away. And Arteta also is fairly well known for falling out of players and going pretty hard line on these things. So I don't know what's happening there. I don't know if Lacazette has maybe got something going on in his actual personal life or something, or there's just some conflict with the club. Lacazette is potentially leaving in the summer, of course. You know, contract negotiations that have gone horribly wrong or something like that. I don't know, but something is going on there, and therefore I'm gonna put this yellow Dorito of death next to Lacazette's name, because I'm not fully convinced that he is going to be involved in the double game week, if I'm completely honest. I think there might be something going on there. But yeah, just wanted to point that one out to you guys. So on the bench, guys, we've got Ramsdale, who is still a very good goalkeeper pick for this game week, but I just prefer Schmeichel slightly, but they're both really nice, aren't they? We've got Roberts, who is potentially been dropped from the team. You know, Lowton came in last game week and played really well, so Roberts and Lowton are maybe going to be rotating now, which means Roberts not really so good for the double game week, I suppose. We've got Weghorst, who is not doing the business, hasn't been doing the business. But to be fair, I do think that a lot of the reason why Weghorst has not been doing very well has been kind of tactics. To be honest, it's just the tactics haven't been quite right for him. So I wonder if with the new temporary management, maybe they might actually be able to get a tune out of Weghorst. I don't want to speculate on that, of course, but you do have to wonder if you feel like Weghorst wasn't working previously. tactically, and that's what I do believe, because he was having to hold up the ball and then also be in the box for the attack, and I don't know if he's got the legs or intensity to do that necessarily. Go from the halfway line to hold up the ball and then run at the same pace as his wingers to be in the box when the ball finally comes in. I just don't feel like that was quite working out for him. So maybe the tactics are going to change a little bit, and in which case maybe Weghorst, they can get a tune out of him. I don't know. Just want to say that. And Broja is back, of course, after he couldn't play against Chelsea last game week because that is his parent club. I wonder if Broja is going to have a good game week as well this game week. Could be kind of interesting. Arsenal at home, who not been doing too well recently, and particularly in defence without Tierney and obviously Thomas Partey there as well. And we've got Burnley away, who may be going into even more disarray, to be honest, as a defence. When they haven't got their classic defensive manager anymore, maybe that's going to go into disarray in defence. Maybe they'll be a bit more attacking, but maybe they'll also kind of suffer in defence a little bit. I don't know for sure what's going to happen there. But, Broja is a little bit of a wild card this game week, to be honest. He might be a player you kind of want to play. I don't know. Let's see. But anyway, guys, we've got to make some transfers, and I'm going to tell you now, Doherty is going to go out. As we know, he's not going to play for the rest of the season. He is a priority transfer out. We are going to be removing Lacazette because, like I say, I think there's a problem going on there. And, if it is a bust up with the club, that could be long-term. And Lacazette is not doing well enough for his price to justify keeping him and risking keeping him. I think we can use the money gained from selling Lacazette quite nicely over the next couple of game weeks, particularly if we're looking to get Chelsea players in, in very, very, very soon, which I think we will be. So we're going to need the Lacazette money. So he's a player I'm going to be sacrificing. And finally, the third player out is going to be Connor Roberts, because I don't think that he is gonna. I don't think he's gonna be nailed on anymore, and I don't want to have players in my squad that are not nailed on. Really, I want to have those options to have those really nailed on players, particularly when we're talking about double game weeks and things like that. So we've got 3 players to bring out. Who are we going to bring in? Well, let me show you guys. We are going to go for Chris Wood, Fabian Schär, and finally, I've got down Kyle Walker-Peters at the moment as the third player as well, as my third player to bring in. I'm not, the third position could be anyone. The third position, who is currently Kyle Walker-Peters, in my current thinking, could change. That could be a Tellez. I could even double up on the Newcastle defence and go for Dan Burn. Maybe I think he'll pose a real good aerial threat in this double game week. I don't know. I don't know for sure who I'm going to go for yet. But those are the 3 players I'm bringing in terms of right now. Like I say, I'm not 100% sure on Walker-Peters, but in terms of everything I've been looking up statistically and watching clips and stuff like that from recent games, Walker-Peters is actually coming up, pretty high up in a lot of metrics in terms of expected assists, chances created, shots, and things like that. In terms of defenders, Walker-Peters is actually really high up in a lot of metrics, and I kind of didn't expect that. And he, in terms of a lot of the stats and stuff I usually use, Kyle Walker-Peters he seems to be the one coming out on top for me, and he's got a double game week now. He's got some good fixtures going forward. I don't know, maybe that'd be a nice differential to go for, but that one's certainly not locked in for sure. But the other 2 I'm pretty certain about. And of course, guys, when you now look at this team, it gives us a very good excuse to use the bench boost. So the bench boost is going to be active, guys, and this is going to be the bench boost squad. So obviously we've got a pretty strong starting 11 with good double game week players and good single game week players in there as well. So we've covered all bases. Something that I feel like what I can do this game week that the free hitters can't do is because I can use extra players essentially. I can cover the good double game week players, and I can cover the good single game week players at the same time. The only thing I'm really missing is Manchester United players, and to be honest, I'm kind of okay with missing a few Manchester United players. I just don't have confidence in them right now. Maybe you guys feel it slightly differently, but yeah, I think this bench boost is actually elite. So we've used 3 transfers obviously, but we've only had to take a -4 because we did have that bank transfer. We get to use our bench boost now. The original plan was to go for it in game week 36, but as fixtures have moved around a little bit, I do feel like now is actually potentially a better time for me to free hit, because I can get not free hit, bench boost, because I can get a really nice bench going on here. And I look at this bench and I think, how many points is this going to get? With a bench boost, how many points are you aiming for? You're usually aiming for about, 20 points maybe. And I look at this bench and I feel like assuming each player gets 4 points as standard, as a baseline, that's 16 points there. So if you've got a full bench of doublers, then doublers who actually play, then that's instantly good. Then out of 8 games for those players, all you need is one return from 4 players in 8 games, and then you've got 20 points. That's your bench boost done for the season. Like, that's what you want for a bench boost, right? So I've managed to do this. I've managed to work this out. I mean, I've got future plans as well, which I won't go into too much, but they do involve potentially getting a Chelsea player in, which is why I've left a little bit of money in the bank here as well to go for that Chelsea player next game week. The third defender, currently Walker Peters in this draft, is going to be a 1 week punt, so they'll probably be moving on next game week. Not definitely, you know, things change quickly in football, injuries, suspensions, things like that. So we don't know 100% sure if he's gonna be moved on. But he's also a player I'd be kind of comfortable keeping just because his fixtures moving forward are not too bad either. But there we go, guys. That would be the bench boost team. We're going to captain Heung-min Son, even though he's on a single game week. He's just in such good form right now, and I don't think Brighton are a particularly good team. So I think he could do really well there. So much to play for, such good form, such confidence right now, and chasing Golden Boot as well. Remember, Son is only, I think it's 3 goals behind Salah in the race for the Golden Boot, which is absolutely mad. So he will be well on it, which is absolutely crazy. And we could give the vice captain to Salah because, again, I do think he's going to do quite well. So we're not going to go for any captaincies on double game week players. I'm just not massively convinced enough by any of the double game week players. I mean, maybe I could consider it, but you know, we've seen what's happened before when people captain double game week players that aren't nearly as good as the really good single game week players. So yeah, we're going to go with Son for now. That's where we're at, and this would be my final team for game week 33. And if this is under 100 points, I'll be disappointed. This surely, guys, this is going to be a very big week, an enormous week for rank swings. It's going to be enormous, and I want to be on the right side of that rank swing. And I think by doing this bench boost, using this squad, we're covering all bases. We've got the single game week players, we've got the double game week players, we've got everything covered. Everything's amazing, everything's awesome, and I love the look of this team. What do you guys think? What would you do differently? Do you like it? What do you feel? I want to know what you guys are feeling about this team. Maybe I'm missing James Maddison. That's probably what you're thinking, but I'm not going to go into that. Maybe we'll talk about that on tomorrow's deadline stream. But there we go. That's my team. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this video, and I hope you guys can wish me luck, as my goal is to get into the top 100 this game week, and I think it can happen. It is possible. We can do it. Fingers crossed. Anyway, please do like the video to show support. Please do subscribe if you're new around here as well. I will be streaming tomorrow for the deadline stream at, 10 a.m. I think it is, 10 a.m. So I'll hope UK time, of course. So hopefully see a few of you guys there. But aside from that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.